Earth is home to an impressive array of life forms, from single-celled organisms to creatures made of many trillions of cells. Life has taken on many wonderful shapes and evolved countless strategies for survival. Recall that cell theory dictates that all living things are made of one or more cells. Biodiversity is the shortened form of two words, biological and diversity. It refers to all the variety of life that can be found on Earth. Example, plants, animals, fungi, and microorganisms, as well as to the communities that they form and the habitats in which they live. Biodiversity is a term used to describe the innermost of life on Earth. It can be used more specifically to refer to all the species in one region or ecosystems. Biodiversity refers to every living thing, including plants, bacteria, animals, and humans. Biodiversity also typically a measure of variation at the genetic, species, and ecosystems level. Terrestrial biodiversity is usually greater near the equator, which is the result of the warm climate and high primary productivity. Biodiversity also is a contraction of biological diversity, is a recently invented term whose origins are readily traceable. The invention of the term biodiversity coincides with the emergence in the 1980s of two new scientific fields, genetic engineering and conservation biology. Technological advances in genetic engineering resulted in a commodification of genetic material as a natural resource, the raw material for a new industry. Conservation biology emerged from all efforts to structure conservation practices of scientific foundation of evolutionary biology, with its emphasis on the relationships among genetic variation, genetic exchange, species, population sizes, and species extinction rates. The term biodiversity originated from within the latter field in 1986. Walter Rosen, then Senior Program Officer for the Board of Basic Biology of the National Science Research Council, is credited with coining the term in organizing the National Forum of Biodiversity. It is an all-encompassing concept that refers to the diversity within the entirety of the world's biosphere, as measured at various scales, including between individuals, populations, species, communities, and ecosystems. Biodiversity thus encompasses genetic, species, and habitat diversity. The importance of biodiversity is the amount of variety of life on Earth. It is the numbers of different species of plants, animals, microorganisms, includes organisms from Earth's vastly different ecosystems including deserts, rainforest, coral reefs, grassland, tundra, polar ice caps. Our biodiversity is very important to the well-being of our planet. Most cultures at last of some time have recognized the importance of conserving nature resources. Many still do, but many do not. The cause and effect of biodiversity. Unfortunately, human activities greatly contribute to the loss of biodiversity. Natural resources like land and water are indiscriminately exploited by humans. The negative effects of the loss in biodiversity from a healthy stable state include dramatic influence of the food web and chain. Even reductions in only one species can adversely affect the entire food chain, which further leads to an overall reductions in biodiversity. Reduced biodiversity leads to immediate danger for food security by reducing ecosystems service and for humankind also. How do we replace lost biodiversity? Our environments and the species that live in them need a diverse populations of genes. More genetic effects are caused by inbreeding, with reduced diversity in the gene pool. The chance for extinction increases. All species, including human, are adversely affected by the loss of species biodiversity. The solutions of biodiversity loss. For those living advanced economies, the most effective solutions to the biodiversity loss is to reduce consumption of meat and dairy products. To solve the problem of biodiversity, the ecosystem's losses, people need to be educated in the importance of environments to humans. Although education is the first step, there are many more solutions that can promote the health and vitality of ecosystems throughout the world. By the way, I am Lorraine Reyes, subject of GE15.